We're so excited to have with us today Roger Tondeur, who is the chairman and president of MCI Group, and Reggie Aggarwal, who joins us as CEO of Cvent. So guys, how's it going? Have you been having fun so far?
Having a good time. This is a great conference.
Yeah.
Roger's
Very
like,
good.
no, I'm just hanging out.
Started with the site night party last night.
Yes.
So that was ended up very nice. So I'm ready for 3 more days.
Fabulous. Well, one of the things we wanted to have you kick us off with is something very light, frothy, mergers and acquisitions, which is always a little bit of a change, but I think change is kind of the watchword here in events industries lately. So tell us a little bit, your two companies have been making some big moves, and we hear kind of rumbles that there's more coming in the next 12 to 18 months. So what's going on both in event tech and from a venue perspective?
You want to start, Raj?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We are. Yeah. It's very clear that the business worldwide is more and more concentrated, and you say big business goes to big agencies, and now the question is, what is big?
Right.
So what is big? You know, in many countries, a big agency is perhaps an agency with 50 staff. Other places it's 100 staff. That would be big. But I think that if we look today at the type of business and the type of contracts that we win, when we work with a Fortune 500 company, we might have a staff of 50 people only working on that account.
Right.
So it's very clear that we're going to get bigger, so we'll do more acquisitions.
It's a good idea to have it, but it gives you kind of that opportunity that no matter where you are, someone from MCI Group, that kind of level of hospitality and service standards are there to help make sure the experience works.
Yeah, it's very clear. I mean, the idea is when we go out and we look to acquire companies. So we've done 65 acquisitions over the last 30 years. That's how we got to where we are. Approximately, when you look at the growth of the company, we are close to 3,000 people today in the company. About 50% has been through what we call internal growth,
right,
and 50% of the growth has come through acquisitions.
Right.
And so when we acquire people, I think we have done, if we're at the end of our geographical expansion, because we are everywhere,
right,
in 80 cities in 35 or I think 36 countries today. So the geographical expansion has finished, but now we are developing the size of the business in the different countries.
Fantastic. And then how about from an event tech perspective?
Well, I agree with a lot with Roger was saying. Is the first thing is that geographical expansion is a critical part of our growing. If I had to say what are the 3 reasons that we do acquisitions, one and the foremost is just to round out our platform,
right,
to make our platform more engaging for our customers and their customers. So that's kind of the primary driver is to round it out. The second thing is it gets us global. We're doing, to get different geographic distribution. And then the third reason we do it is sometimes to get customers.
Right.
Some of the companies we bought, they've had good customers, and we can kind of, there's a term of art in the software industry called land and expand.
Right.
And what that means, you get into the customer, and then you can, for us, we have a full platform, so they might be using part of it for somebody else, and we can expand and certainly grow our business. So acquisitions is a critical part of really what we think is to satisfy our customers. We've been primarily organically grown. Probably about 85% of our growth has been organic and about 10 to 15% inorganic or acquisitions, but we're getting more aggressive in acquisitions. Roger's teaching us the way. With 65, we've only done about 8 or 9, but we're going to continue to expand quite a bit.
That's great. So one of the things that the final piece, because I know we don't have much time, but from an event professional perspective, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty because we don't know what's coming. So if you had to leave one thought for our audience watching at home and then for joining us on the podcast, what's the one thing you hope they take away saying, as Cvent moves into it, as MCI Group moves into the future, we want you to know this is why we're doing it? You said a lot about customer satisfaction, but is that really the goal or the takeaway?
I mean, it's difficult to give one thought, but the one thought is that adaptation to the changes in the industry is the business and the way we make money is not the same anymore today than it was yesterday.
Right.
And it's completely different than what it was 10 years ago or what it was 20 years ago. So, and we don't know what the future holds for us. So we spend a lot of time today on what is generally called the fourth industrial revolution, and artificial intelligence, robotics, and how do we adapt? So it's very interesting to sit here with Reggie and the way his company has moved forward. So I would say that is the one thought. Spend your time about where the industry is going tomorrow, and don't think you're going to keep on doing it the same. Absolutely. Because I think it used to be, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. Exactly. Right? But that's not true anymore. That's not true anymore. We will have to change.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Roger said. I mean, for us in event technology, we can't be everywhere. So for us in acquiring, there's a lot of neat technology that's out there, or in different segments, whether it's geographical segments or it's a different customer segment. But more importantly, maybe they've built a product that we think makes a lot of sense for our customers. So I think the number one driver of acquisitions really is at the end, as both of us I know believe, is it's all about what's best for our customer. What's best for your customer always ends up coming back and growing the business. And so for us, that's what we think. That's kind of our obligation to our customers, because we don't have technology for everything. And even though we have about 1,500 engineers that are developing a lot of different R&D, and we spend well over $100 million a year on R&D and technology. We can't be everywhere. So it's important to see some of these companies that can add more value to our customers. And that's really our primary driver for why we acquire. And it makes us more aware of how the industry is moving, which has been it's been interesting to talking to a lot of startups. We spend a lot of our time talking to them and partnering with them, maybe acquiring them. Maybe they end up being competitors. But in any way, it's great for the ecosystem and great for the customers to have that.
All right. Well, we know it's so busy here. So thank you for taking the time today, gentlemen. We look forward to seeing the great things your companies are doing. And as always, we appreciate having you join us for Event Icons.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.